What if I told you that the very first civilization in human history simply vanished? The Sumerians, the people who gave us writing, cities and laws, just disappeared from the pages of time. But how? Where did they go? And why is their story still cloaked in mystery thousands of years later? Let's go back over 5,000 years, to the land known as Mesopotamia. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this fertile land was home to something the world had never seen before. A true civilization. Massive ziggurats, organized governments, city planning, irrigation systems, and most importantly, writing. The Sumerians were the first to develop cuneiform, marking wedge-shaped symbols onto clay tablets. Through these symbols they recorded everything: myths, laws, taxes, prayers, and even complaints from angry citizens. It was a window into their world, a world far ahead of its time. They lived in cities like Uruk-ur and Lagash. These weren't just settlements, they were complex urban centers, and yet, by around 2000 BCE, the Sumerians, the inventors of so much, were gone. So what really happened? Was it war, disease, climate change, or something more gradual, something even more human? One theory points to invasion. Around the same time the Sumerians vanished, a group known as the Amorites began to rise. They were Semitic-speaking nomads who gradually migrated into Mesopotamia. Over time they took over city after city, establishing the Babylonian Empire under Hammurabi. But here's the thing, there's no record of a massive war, no tales of a sudden collapse. Instead it looks like a slow blending, a cultural absorption. The Amorites adopted Sumerian customs, gods, and even the Cuneiform script. So did the Sumerians disappear, or were they simply absorbed? Another theory looks to climate. Recent studies suggest a major drought hit Mesopotamia around 2200 BCE. Crops failed, trade routes collapsed, cities were abandoned. Archaeological evidence shows widespread abandonment of Sumerian cities during this time. Was this nature's doing? Perhaps the rivers that once gave life to Sumer turned against it. Salinization from over-irrigation may have poisoned the soil. The once fertile land became barren. Without food, people fled. With no people, the cities died. But even that might not be the full picture. Some researchers argue the Sumerians were never wiped out at all, instead they evolved. As empires rose, Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyrian, the Sumerian language slowly faded. By 2000 BCE it was no longer spoken in daily life, but it was preserved in sacred texts, rituals, and scholarship, much like Latin centuries later. In fact, long after the Sumerians vanished, scribes still studied their texts. Their myths, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, were copied and retold. Their gods lived on, renamed but not forgotten. Their influence shaped the empires that followed. The Sumerians disappeared, not with a bang but with a whisper. And maybe that's the most haunting part of all. We remember the pyramids of Egypt, the conquests of Rome, the legends of Greece. But the people who laid the foundation for it all, the ones who built the first cities, wrote the first words, counted the first numbers, have no voice left. Just clay tablets cracked and buried beneath millennia of dust. So, where did the Sumerians go? Maybe they didn't go anywhere. Maybe they're in us, in our writing systems, our laws, our myths, our cities. And maybe the real mystery isn't their disappearance, but how easily we forgot the first ones who lit the spark of civilization. Because in the end, history isn't just about who conquered whom, it's about who we choose to remember. And who we allow to fade,